And meanwhile, please open up the book on page number 40, please.
Okay.
Okay, number 40. We're gonna start by practicing listening part 1, the multiple choice.
Okay.
In this part, you're gonna hear 3 extracts. They are
Mm-hmm.
different, and you have to choose what is the correct answer, okay? And then we check.
Okay.
So let me play the audio here. Okay.
You will hear 3 different extracts. For questions 1 to 6, choose the answer A, B, or C, which fits best according to what you hear. There are 2 questions for each extract. Extract 1. You hear part of a radio discussion in which 2 writers are talking about their books.
The last book I wrote was something my publisher asked me to write, about the River Thames and its history. Not exactly a passion of mine. I'm still not entirely sure why the publisher approached me, but I could imagine how other people might be interested, so I signed up. And once I'd got into it, I found the whole thing quite intriguing. I'd rather not have had to limit our investigation just to the inner city, but there's only so much you can pack into 400 pages. Now it's finished, I have to say I rather miss working on it. Do you enjoy the research side of things?
Not so much, but now I can use the internet, of course.
Indeed. But can you trust what you read?
The way I see it, the internet's given authors access to limitless knowledge, and all from the comfort of our own home. If only we'd had it when I was starting out. It would have saved me countless trips to the library, and a lot of time and effort. Sure, you have to check and cross-reference things, but I can live with that.
Extract 2. You hear 2 game designers talking about their work.
If you only hang out with other game designers, if gaming is your entire world, that's actually going to work against your development. The people on top in this profession are the ones with, I'd call it, an insatiable curiosity for, say, history, science, music, that kind of thing. Anyway, when I'm starting out on a new game, I'll work out what the goal is. That's my priority. So, for example, for my last game, it was the idea that humans are a part of nature, not separate, and I'll go from there. The people and the overall image come later down the line.
I probably have a similar approach, and I agree that whatever you're designing, be it a first-person shooter, action-adventure, role-playing, whatever, if you want to become one of the great game designers, you need to have a great deal of general knowledge and an inquiring mind. A good grasp of behavioral psychology is also essential. Without this, you won't convince anyone, and playing a game without conviction is rather pointless.
Extract 3. You overhear 2 university students talking about choices they have made.
I don't know if you've heard, but I'm off to Greece once the term finishes. I'm joining up with this team of archaeologists. They need people to do the physical stuff. The digging, I mean. It won't be paid, but it'll give me some real experience in the field, even if it's not strictly relevant to the courses I'm taking next year. And it'll make a change from the tedious kind of jobs I normally end up doing during the holidays.
Well, I imagine you'll really get a lot out of it. After I finished my first degree, and we're talking at least 10 years ago now, I got offered a position with a really prestigious firm of architects. I felt I couldn't say no, especially because we were all still waiting for the exam results to come out. And it was good there, but I still wish I'd given myself the chance to consider something else. Well, that's why I've come back to university, I suppose.
You will hear 3 different extracts. For questions 1 to 6, choose the answer A, B, or C, which fits best according to what you hear. There are 2 questions for each extract. Extract 1. You hear part of a radio discussion in which 2 writers are talking about their books.
The last book I wrote was something my publisher asked me to write, about the River Thames and its history. Not exactly a passion of mine. I'm still not entirely sure why the publisher approached me, but I could imagine how other people might be interested, so I signed up. And once I'd got into it, I found the whole thing quite intriguing. I'd rather not have had to limit our investigation just to the inner city, but there's only so much you can pack into 400 pages. Now it's finished, I have to say I rather miss working on it. Do you enjoy the research side of things?
Not so much, but now I can use the internet, of course.
Indeed, but can you trust what you read?
The way I see it, the internet's given authors access to limitless knowledge, and all from the comfort of our own home. If only we'd had it when I was starting out. It would have saved me countless trips to the library and a lot of time and effort. Sure, you have to check and cross-reference things, but I can live with that.
Extract 2. You hear two game designers talking about their work.
If you only hang out with other game designers, if gaming is your entire world, that's actually going to work against your development. The people on top in this profession are the ones with, I'd call it, an insatiable curiosity for, say, history, science, music, that kind of thing. Anyway, when I'm starting out on a new game, I'll work out what the goal is. That's my priority. So, for example, for my last game, it was the idea that humans are a part of nature, not separate, and I'll go from there. The people and the overall image come later down the line.
I probably have a similar approach, and I agree that whatever you're designing, be it a first-person shooter, action-adventure, role-playing, whatever, if you want to become one of the great game designers, you need to have a great deal of general knowledge and an inquiring mind. A good grasp of behavioral psychology is also essential. Without this, you won't convince anyone, and playing a game without conviction is rather pointless.
Extract 3. You overhear two university students talking about choices they have made.
I don't know if you've heard, but I'm off to Greece once the term finishes. I'm joining up with this team of archaeologists. They need people to do the physical stuff. The digging, I mean. It won't be paid, but it'll give me some real experience in the field, even if it's not strictly relevant to the courses I'm taking next year. And it'll make a change from the tedious kind of jobs I normally end up doing during the holidays.
Well, I imagine you'll really get a lot out of it. After I finished my first degree, and we're talking at least 10 years ago now, I got offered a position with a really prestigious firm of architects. I felt I couldn't say no, especially because we were all still waiting for the exam results to come out. And it was good there, but I still wish I'd given myself the chance to consider something else. Well, that's why I've come back to university, I suppose.
You will hear three
Okay, let me show you what are the answers, okay? Number 1 was letter B. Number 2 was letter A.
Okay.
Number 3, letter C. Number 4, letter A.
Okay.
Number 5, letter C. And number 6, letter A.
Okay.
Yes. It was difficult this time.
Yes.
How many right answers did you get out of 6?
3.
3. Would you like to take a look at the script?
Okay.
Yes. Here it is.
Okay.
In this part, maybe it's a number 2 that I think number 1 it was. Number 2, yes. Because the woman says that the internet has given authors access to limitless knowledge. When it comes to talk about authors, we immediately think of writers. That is why. Did you get right out of that question?
Yeah, could you mind repeat the answers, because I just put 1, 2, 3.
Okay, there you are.
Okay, it
Number
is
1 B, number 2 A, number 3 C, number 4 A. Number 5 C and number 6 A.
Okay. The number 1, I missed the number 1. Story to scope could not be wider.
Yes. How does the man feel about the last book he wrote? Sorry that the scope couldn't be wider. El alcance, right? The scope.
Mm-hmm.
So, number one, it says, I would rather not to have limit our investigation. That is it, to limit the investigation. So he wishes he hadn't limit their investigation, so the scope would be wider, just to the inner city. But there is only so much you can pack into 400 pages.
Mm,
That is why.
okay.
The other one is here, as I told you. It says given authors access to limitless knowledge. It
Mm-hmm.
is related to writers. And that's it. Any other question, maybe?
I am right. The 3 and 4. Let me see the 5 and 6.
5 and 6, okay. There you are.
Okay.
5 and 6, I guess it is here, yes. Let me see, what is the question here?
I mean, I
Okay,
want.
it says the men decided to go in Greece in order to take part in a project that needs volunteer. Because it says that they need people. It means that they need
Mhm.
volunteers. That is why, right? And the other
Mhm.
one says, I wish I had given myself the chance to consider something else. Talking about starting a job as soon as her studies were over.
I still wish. Yeah, I put attention in the part that she said. I still wish. Yeah, because that is the regret. It given myself the chance to consider something else. Yeah, but I was thinking that it is regarding maybe when
Letter
choosing
C,
the career
letter B,
or
right?
maybe failing with the studies, not about that job.
It is tricky because it says, let me see. I imagine I will really get a lot out of it, after I finished my first degree. That is the clue. So it means that he finished her
Hmm.
studies, right? That is why it says here their studies were over. And we are talking here, at least 10 years ago now. I got offered a position, right? But she refused that. She didn't start that position, that job. And that is why she says that she regrets not to have started the job as soon as her studies were over.
Mm,
Yes, that is why you have to be very careful because these kind of exercises are very confusing and tricky.
us. Mm,
In this part is the clue. I wish I finished my first degree. It means that he finished her university studies. And
okay.
then he got offered a position, a job, but he didn't accept it.
Okay.
I guess she didn't because I guess it's a woman. Okay, next part. Let me see. In this part, we have to discuss about the following aspects, but in a C1 level. The first one says, what do you think, my dear, that makes some video games better than others? And do you think that why might be some future developments in the gaming industry? That is the first
Mm,
question.
okay. Firstly, I think one of the most interesting things regarding video games could be the experience that give us to the people who is engaging with the games. Surely, due to the fact that the most important part is always take into consideration the people that is part of your work. Obviously, the community. I mean,
Yes.
right? That part is so important because if you hear the feedback that the community give you and try to increase the experience that each player is having during the session of playing, that gives you a point that other industries don't pay attention. I think that is the most important thing in regarding the first question.
What I
Uh,
what do you mean is like what makes some video games like to being superior than the other ones? It's the narrative depth, right? The
No,
plot.
no. I mean, what make better one game to another is to put effort in increase the experience for the gamer, for the people who is
Or the
engaging
level
to
of
the game.
immersion
Uh-huh.
they offer.
Yeah, the immersion that the gamer have, taking the feedback, hearing the community, yeah, try to improve what, maybe a little mistakes or what
Yes.
kind of aspects is wrong and do it better.
And
That
regarding
is
future developments further,
yeah, for
right?
sure.
Do you
Yeah,
think that
for
they will likely involve like photorealistic environments, for example, like an A driven,
mm,
maybe regarding the graphics or something like that, that correspond to dynamically to player choices.
yeah, for sure. Okay, something that is happening nowadays is that we are passing for age where you can even build your own car with the parts
The
of
parking lot.
like the, yeah, where the parking lots, yeah, for sure, like the engines, even the different steps that you have to do to drive a car, but generally that is just virtual. Okay, maybe in the future we can even take maybe clothes like a sweater or maybe a helmet where you can get inside to the job, to the, sorry, to the game, and maybe try that part that is considered the virtual life inside your PC, your whatever way that you are playing. Yeah, that
Perfect.
could be an option for the future.
It could be. So we hope so. Because I really like to play video games whenever I have free time. Of course, that is almost never.
Yeah, that is no so much free time for us.
Yes. When I was a teenager, I used to play a lot of sorry video games with my one of my cousin because he is very keen on this kind of consoles.
Yeah,
He has all of them,
and that
the
is cool.
Xbox,
Eh,
PlayStation, all of them.
Yeah, whereas some part of the industries is taking part in maybe get an improvement in the way to graphics or maybe how the shatters is at the first glance for the games. I think we are lost. Yeah, we are lost in the part of make a wonderful, catchful history that gives you into the paper who the character that you are playing for, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there is a lacking that I am feeling the recently years. What do you think?
I think it could be regarding this part of that we are like maybe for example in most of the cases this kind of industries that are related to gaming are not taking the step forward that you as you told towards this haptic feedback, for example in virtual
Mhm.
reality. It is like we need to make more to apply it or to develop more changes beyond than that, right?
Yeah,
So they
yeah,
so the I don't know, maybe the player, right, the user, get involved, get immersion that they offer it, but in a very high level.
yeah, and there is something that is a normal comment against the big industries where we said that we are paying the, I don't know if you know what is the the price of the normal games nowadays. There is maybe 100 or even more for an
Yes,
experience that is most of the cases not complete. Most of the cases is completely full of glitches of
yes,
things
it
that
doesn't.
is,
They don't meet to your expectation, right?
yeah, and whereas another freelancers, people that is in charge to make their own games, yeah, that is considered. I lost the word, but those small industries, small companies that through to the different stores games that is completely bro. It's completely wonderful job that even one person can develop with a lot of time for sure, but it's completely at the same level to the big industries.
Yes. Regarding that you said, is another point here is dramatic point here is the storage. Because for example,
Mhm.
when you want to download a game, it might take you up to maybe days, 3 days. For example, I remember that a friend of mine, for example, a game that was called Need for Speed. I don't remember the name, but it wasn't
Hmm.
Need for Speed. The game took him like more or less like 3 days
Yeah,
to
and
download.
that is
I
not,
think
yeah, that is
it
not
could be
only the
fixed.
storage. Yeah, we are living in a reality where you almost need even more and more power in your PC, in your console, in whatever that you use to play. We need more power. We need different pieces to in order that the machine go on the games,
But
and
don't you think that the developers of this kind of games should should reduce the storage of these games because they are
mm,
too, I
yeah, that
guess,
is bigger, that is heavy,
advanced.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and they could, but the reality is they can't do it in because as I said before, there is a question of the shaders. They give us a perspective of reality inside the game, and that take a lot of inside mini process that take a lot of storage and a lot of different parts that must be the last of the last.
Perfect. That is okay. Next, how do you think universities might have changed in the last 50 years? Okay, half centuries.
Mm.
Are these changes for the better or the worse?
Mm. Surely it have changed in a better way, yeah. Due to the fact that we are living a reality where we have more space in the university, and that is not just by the space, it is because more expectation for the students and the preparation of the teachers, the professors, the people who is in charge of the university, like the principal or maybe whatever of those, where these specific points make a better experience for the students who is doing their preparation for be a professional.
But don't you think it could be a double-edged sword?
Mm, yeah,
For
that's
example,
for sure.
some universities have undergone to a massive changes. Primarily, for example, due to this kind of like in this case specifically for politics, democratization of education through online platforms, and this has led to, I mean, while it is positive on the one hand for the accessibility because you can study wherever you are, right? Many people argue the commercialization of these degrees,
Mm,
of the degrees, and it has compromised, it has affected the academic rigor, right?
mm,
That is why it is
yeah,
a double-edged sword.
yeah, yeah, for sure. That is a double sword. But being completely honest, there is something that affect at the both parts. Most of the people that have the enough money to pay a complete education don't be taking part to the free education that maybe you and me had in the moment. Okay, for example, is some time ago there is no open the experience of tier level for whatever for whoever people. Okay,
Yes.
there is just for the people who wants to make a difference. If you think the time of your father or maybe your grandpa, there is no the opportunity to take the same opportunity that we, you and me, of the rest of our partners, of the rest of the people who is starting the university or ending. There is no the same opportunity that maybe your grandpa or your mother or whoever in your family had in any moment.
Yeah, for sure, but it has its cons as well, and
Yeah.
to some extent, yeah. But
Mhm.
anyways, it's been like more for the better than the worse. Okay,
Mm,
so now let's talk about hypothetical situations, wishes, regrets, wish, or if only, and alternatives.
mm.
Okay, but first I'm gonna provide you with this explanation. Don't prevent
Okay.
yourself from asking me if you don't understand something, okay? So past
Okay.
tenses can be used to talk about unlikely, imaginary, or impossible situations in the present, the past, or the future. Wish, and if only, plus the past perfect, they can be used to express wishes, regrets, and criticisms about the past. That is important, about the past. For example, I wish if only, or I hadn't eaten my dinner so quickly. Why? because I had got indigestion now. You see?
Mm.
Like that. Next, as an important point here, you have to know that wish plus would, the modal verb would, is used to express irritation at someone's bad habit or at any annoying situation. For example, I wish you wouldn't eat with your mouth open. It's like making a
Mm.
complaint, right? I wish the bus would be on time for once. It's like you're sick of it, right? Like this. I wish you wouldn't, or I wish the bus would. It depends, in negative or in positive way. It depends on the context that you're going to deal with. Next, should in this case, should plus the perfect infinitive, that is have in the verb with past participle, can be used to express regrets and criticisms about the past as well. For example, we should have brought an umbrella, right? It is like, oh my gosh, I didn't that. And you shouldn't have spoken to him like that. It is like you're making a regret, it's kinda like advice, but more than
Mm.
a regret and a criticism as well.
We should have brought an umbrella.
Okay,
Mm.
so far it's clear, right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Continue. The third conditional, in this case, the third conditional sentence is if plus the past perfect, as you know, then would, might, could plus the perfect infinitive, that is would have, might have, or could have, can be used to speculate about how things might have been different in the past, possible or maybe likely results in the past, outcomes in the past. If you hadn't been paying attention, right, you might have understood what I was saying, right? It means that you weren't paying attention and that is why you didn't understand, right?
Mm.
Like this. Next, if it hadn't been for, si no hubiera sido por, right? So don't be confused. If hadn't been for, the with if weren't for,
Mhm.
if it weren't for, right? The traffic jam on the motorway, we would have got here on time. It is because of the
Mm.
traffic. As a result, we arrived late. Okay. Then a more formal variation of this is to omit, right? If and begin with have. It is an inversion, actually. It sounds very, very formal. For example, instead of saying if she known, has she known? Did you know about that?
Mm.
Yes, right?
No, really no.
It is an inversion, but using a conditional. Instead of saying if she known, si ella
Mhm.
supiera, you can say has she known, which is the same, but it sounds very, very formal.
Mm.
Yes. So had she known about his criminal past, she would never have employed him. Right? This is the second conditional. No, the third conditional, sorry.
The
Yes.
third condition.
Yes. Mixed conditional sentences. In this case, sorry, can be used to speculate how a different situation in the past might have had different results in the present. For example, if you hadn't stayed up to watch the film last night, you wouldn't be so tired now. This is the mixed conditional. But you knew, right,
Mhm.
about this, okay? Or maybe an alternative, how changes to a present situation might have influenced the past, right? For example, things that you're doing right now might have influenced on the past actions that you did. For example, if I weren't so broke at the moment, I could have brought you something decent for your birthday, right? In this case, it's a present
Mhm.
situation that could have been influenced the past. So that's it, okay? So we're gonna
Mhm.
practice. You have to look at these sentences, right? And you have to answer the questions. It says, if only he had, right? Or she would have the internet when I was starting out as a writer. And the first says, did a woman have the internet when she began his career as a writer? No, right? Because
No.
it's obvious that I is arrogant. And how does the woman feel about that? How does she feel about that?
Mm. Regretted.
Yes, regret
Yeah,
it.
regretted.
Perfect. She
For
regret it. Next, I still wish I had given myself the chance to consider something else instead of becoming an architect. So, did the
Mm,
woman consider doing something else other than working in a No, right? That is not the
no.
case. But how does she feel about it?
Yeah, regret
One more
that
time,
too.
regrets. Perfect. That
Mhm.
is regret. Okay. Then we have read the sentences, and then you have to choose the correct words to complete the rules in the box, which and which
Okay.
all the alternatives. It says she had preferred to have traveled on her own. So it means that if she would have had the chance, she would have chosen
Mhm.
to travel alone, right, or on her own.
Yeah.
I would like to have come, but I'm too busy these days. That's it. And he had rather, or he had sooner, have seen the film by himself, which is the same, rather and sooner. Okay,
Hmm.
good. So if the subject is the what?
If the subject is the
In
both parts
both
of the
parts of a
sentence.
sentence introduced by would prefer or would like, a perfect infinitive, then we have one part plus one part plus past participle, is used when referring to the past.
Okay. If the subject is the same in the both
Yes,
parts of the
is the same.
sentence.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
A perfect infinitive. What are the
Yeah,
parts of this?
a perfect infinitive. Perfect infinitive. Would no, sorry.
It's the second one.
Had. Yeah, yeah. The had.
It's to,
No,
plus have,
two plus have. Mm.
plus the past participle. It is used when referring to the past. For example, I would like to have come, right? Me hubiera
Mm.
gustado haber venido. But I'm too busy these days, right? That is. So remember, to plus have plus the past participle is used when referring to the past, right?
Mm.
Okay, so don't forget. Would like or would rather or would prefer. Then we have
Mm.
when we use would rather or would sooner, the word, what word is omitted?
Two.
To, perfect, the preposition to. Nice. Now we have to match this every single sentence to an appropriate ending. A, B, C, D, E, and F. So if
Okay.
she hadn't found, number one, if she hadn't found his name on the internet, so what is the
She
appropriate ending?
could have had a serious no. They no. My parents just so now. I had given his job. Yeah. Taken my what? Hijo de la grandísima. If she hadn't found his name on the, if she hadn't found his name, I give up this job a long time ago.
I'm gonna give
Mm,
you a clue. We have to follow the logic, the standard third conditional, the past cause,
mhm.
and the past effect.
Eh, they might never have seen each other again.
Yes, great, Diego, perfect. They might never have seen each other again. All right. So
Hmm.
letter C. Let me cross it out. It's done. Continue. Number two. Had I known, or it's the same as we said if I known.
Hmm.
Had I known it was going to rain so heavily, what
Eh,
had I done?
I would have taken my waterproofs.
Yes, I would have taken my waterproofs. Perfect. Next. Number three. If it hadn't been for her quick thinking, right, what would have happened?
Eh, she could have had a serious accident.
Perfect. Nice. You are on fire. Number four. If I didn't have three kids in rent to pay, what would have
Mm,
happened?
eh, my no. Let me see. If I hadn't three kids on the rent. I have given up this job long time ago.
Yes, I would have given up this job a long time ago. Perfect. Next. If they hadn't lost their last two matches, it is
They'd
very
be
obvious, right?
top of
They
the
would
league
be the top
now.
of the league now. And the other one says, if I got into trouble at school, my parents used to stop my pocket money as a
Hmm.
punishment. Perfect. Next. Okay, we have to compare the marks. Okay, that's it. Rules. Okay. Now we're gonna hold a conversation about the following points. Okay. We have to write a
Mhm.
dialogue which includes at least three hypothetical structures. We're gonna put into practice these wishes, regrets, and conditions.
Okay.
Okay. Here we have to choose one of them, but we're going to deal with all of them. Okay. The first one,
Okay.
you are both in the middle of a terrible trip. So in a hypothetical
Mm,
situation, what things you would do?
yeah. Had we were in a horrible trip, I would like to give a knife and a bottle of water that I think that is essential things. But in whatever case, maybe it could be a good idea to take something in order to make fire. What do you think?
But let's imagine that you have anything, right? Anything Tony had. That and you are
Not
being stranded in the middle of nowhere. What would you do?
if I were in the middle of nothing, I would like to at least I would like that have
To cry
sun,
first.
yeah, sunlight, sunlight, yeah.
To cry
At
first.
least, yeah, maybe, but I think could be a good start to be a on in the morning in order to see something because the night in the middle of nowhere could be difficult. What do you think you would like to take as a unique thing in a desert island?
On the desert, it's a tough question because yeah, for example, if it were for me, I would prefer to die eating my favorite candies, for example, as the thing as the last thing that I'm gonna do in my life. But being being aware of that problem, I just would have taken maybe a map
Yeah, but
in order
being
to follow the
being
instructions
completely honest,
to try to look
had you
for
ever read a map?
and a digital map. Yes,
Yeah, but the map of paper that is not easy
a
to
paper-based map. No, no, I have never read it.
that is not easy to follow. When I was trying one time to follow a map with the compass, and
Okay.
there is not easy to follow. There is completely difficult. I get lost being completely honest.
Okay, if I were stranded in the middle, for example, of nowhere in an island, the only thing that I will think of doing it could be to start blessing, start praying to God, and until I died, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah. As a unique object, maybe could be a good idea. A knife. You can
A
make
knife.
fire. You can also try to hunt your food. Uh, I don't know. Try to do something.
Yes, I guess maybe. But let's imagine if in the world that you're surrounding, you don't have even rocks, anything to create fire, for example.
Yeah, equal a knife to kill myself.
A shotgun to have ready in
Yeah,
hand.
yeah, could be a good idea.
Yes, okay. Nice, interesting this kind of topics. Next, if you are both in some kind of trouble at work, if we
Mm.
were both in like trouble at work, if you were struggling at work, okay, in your case, what would you do?
Uh, if I were in that kind of situation, boss surely give me a punishment, maybe, or maybe throw out of me, fire of me, whatever. And I don't know. I would surely I would try to correct the mistake or
I
try.
think it could depend on the context and on the situation that you are struggling with.
Yeah, if you struggle with something that is so important, or maybe that was essential, or if you have had maybe some strugglers, some troubles to the empress recently, maybe you are out in whatever
Whatever the
case.
reason it could be, the only possible and I guess the affordable way or maybe the solution that you can find is try to look for suitable solutions in order to solve that problem, wherever
Yeah,
the
for
reason or
sure.
wherever the problem it is.
Try to accept that you are not perfect, you're wrong, and try to correct whatever that you did.
Perfect. Next. Let's imagine that we have organized a surprise party for a friend, but things aren't working out as we had expected, as we had hoped. In that case, what can we think? What can we do?
I don't know if the things aren't working in the way that we planned. Maybe I would try to continue with the party, maybe put more emotion, try to the rest of the people feel comfortable in order to the birthday, the person who is taking the birthday get a good time.
Maybe try to look for another plan. Maybe book another place, or maybe try to plan ahead something else. For example, maybe to go
Yeah,
to another place, to try to discard of people that don't want to go and there, to that are not down
yeah,
to get into the party, and try to look for the best
yeah.
and the most suitable solution there.
Had we maybe struggling the bird cake, maybe struggling the party, yeah, that is not the end of the day. We can continue, we can as you say, booking another part, maybe to find out a good place, or maybe it's that is not the place, that is the people that is in charge of you, the people that is surrounded, the way that you make a good time.
Perfect. Okay, we continue, my dear Diego. Okay, the report. You know how to write a report, right?
Yeah, that is not
Okay,
easy. Oh, that is not difficult,
yes.
sorry.
Okay. So whenever you have free time, please practice this report. Okay. It says
Yep.
write a report plan. You have to tour campus buildings, sign up. This is the one that you have to write the subheadings for each paragraph,
Hmm.
right? Okay, so don't forget. So we continue. Now it's time to practice this. This not.
That is the part two of grading.
Let me see. I don't know what it is. Oh yeah, we have to follow the blanks with a suitable adverb in this part.
Mm,
As you can see, the first letter has been written. Sorry, CL,
okay.
par, and then you have TR, HI, and here im. Yes.
Okay.
So please try to do it.
Tour
According to the
of
context,
campus
okay?
buildings.
Tour
Yeah.
tour was well done.
Extremely,
Yes, perfect. Extremely.
extremely, yeah, okay.
Extremely
Extremely
well
well organized.
organized. Next. The guides were knowledgeable.
Uh, Complete,
Com-
clearly,
Clearly, perfect. Clearly
clearly,
knowledgeable.
knowledgeable.
Then we have the usable and was per effective in identifying classroom errors.
The colon shop was very useful and was part
Per
effective.
effective.
Hijo.
Remember that it's an adverb. All of
Yeah,
them are adverbs.
particularly,
Particularly,
mhm,
particularly
particularly
effective.
effective.
Particularmente efectivo, right? Next
Mhm.
was. The information available at the different stalls was
Let
comprehensive.
me see. The information available at the different stalls was truly,
Truly perfect. Truly
truly comprehensible.
comprehensive.
Comprehensible.
And next, the technology and range of resources available left a very good impression on all of us. Furthermore, the senior librarian's talk on finding online articles was high informative.
Highly
Highly
informative.
perfect. Next, and the last one. It would be helpful to have that.
Uy,
This one,
okay.
this one is.
I never see
It
a
is not
double M
difficult. It is not that difficult, but I think you don't have any idea.
in memorable.
Immensely.
Immensely. No, I
Immensely
never
helpful.
see. I never see that word.
Inmensamente, right?
Yeah,
Immensely
but
helpful.
yeah, I had the knowledge that I don't know any word that it starts with a double M. Immensely. That is inmensamente.
Yes. Inmensamente útil. Okay,
Inmensamente.
let me see.
Inmense.
In this part, I don't know why, but it has been done. But anyways, let's analyze it. It says that we have to look at the underlined words and phrases from 1 to 4 in the first paragraph of the same answer. For each one, you have to choose two words or phrases from A to H from the box that could be used in its place in a formal report. Potential improvements is number 4. I guess
Mhm.
it refers to this part. Yeah, okay, let's go over this one because it is not that important.
Okay.
The word formation.
Okay. It is one of the easiest. This smart toys now come in a variety of shapes and size. Although a top of the range robot
Might be,
may be affordable to people.
please read it again. Might
Okay.
be to people on an average wage.
Okay. Although a top of the range robot may be afford to people on a
And here it
average
is. They
wage.
can still buy toys that are able to respond.
Hmm.
You know, affordable is right, but
Affordable.
it says
Yeah.
although.
Yeah. Unaffordable.
Yes, unaffordable.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Unaffordable, right?
Unaffordable. Perfect. We continue. They can still buy toys that are able to respond in a. We have compare.
Mm, natural way to their children in a comparison and
Comparatively.
a comparatively. Hijo de puta, ese sí no lo he escuchado nunca. A
Comparativamente.
comparatively. Comparatively, even in Spanish, haven't sense.
I guess. That is why when you start learning English at a C1 level, in our case, as we know the language, we are teachers, you start realizing that you even don't didn't know these words even in your mother tongue in Spanish.
Yeah, because in Spanish, sorry, it haven't sense. That is the point that I don't think in that things
Yes, that is why. So comparatively, natural way to
comparative.
their children's questions. The toys lack the inbuilt technology to respond, and then we have the plant.
The toy like the involved technology to respond independing.
We need an adverb one more time.
Uh,
Independently.
independently. Yeah, I was looking for the way to create the word
Yes,
independientemente.
independently. Perfect. But their microphones record and transmit anything a child says to a server farm for analysis by speech algorithms. From here, a suitable reply can be sent back. However, privacy activists are voicing their concerns about a range of then we have controversy issues.
However, privacy activism
One
are
more time, I know you know this, Albert.
increasingly
Increasingly voicing their
there
concerns about a wide
about
range of.
a range of the word is controversy. Mm,
I know you know this one.
controversial
Controversial,
issue.
perfect. Controversial issues. Firstly, they point out that it is a terrible invade of privacy.
Invasion.
Invasion of privacy, perfect. When
Invasion of
parents
privacy.
can read a transcript of a recording. Secondly, they worry that manufacturers are making the recordings of children access to third parties, corporations.
Yeah, are making the recording of children accessing to third
They are
parties.
making the recordings of children accessible.
They are recordings of children
And actually,
accessible
and
to
actually,
third
this
parties.
is an issue that is happening right now in the current society.
Sure. I haven't heard about this information. There is completely new for
Because,
me.
for example, let's imagine that you have a child or maybe children, right? And you, for example, buy this kind of toys that used to talk, that they talk,
Hmm.
right? It is like some of these companies are like maybe inbuilt, as it says, inbuilt technology inside the toy that are secret microphones, and
Mm,
they can hear whatever you can say. at home, or maybe your children, in order maybe to make use. I don't know why. For what is the purpose? I don't know. But
That could have
it is a
a
little
lot
bit,
of purposes. Yeah, that is tricky.
it's cringe.
Hmm.
Yes, okay. So accessible to third parties corporation who could use the data in a way that was, as I told you,
Oh,
to take advantage of this information.
yeah, to take
We need an
that
objective
was
here.
yeah, advantageable
Advantages. For the
advantages. Yeah.
writer's advantages.
Mhm.
That is. Okay,
Ventajoso,
let me
right?
show you. Let me show
Okay.
you so you can check the spelling, okay? And you take
Okay.
notes. Here it is.
Okay. Let me see. Invention, accessible, advantages. Advantages is ventajoso, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. The word formation in for some words it is tricky comparatively and for example, and affordable. I don't think that I could write that correctly. That
Unaffordable.
is unaffordable. I
You
know.
can, yes, you can realize because it says although, it means that it is negative.
Yeah, yeah. I could think in that, but in order to spell it correctly, I am seeing. No, never mind. I was thinking that it was duplicated. That if no, never mind.
Okay.
No, I
Ready
can
to
do.
go?
Controversial invasion accessible. Yeah, the rest is not difficult at all.
Yes, okay. So we continue. We finish this lesson by practicing the open close.
Ah,
Okay. You have to think of the word that best fits the gap. So I
okay.
very much resent having my privacy invaded, but I would never out of my way.
Okay. Open close. This person having my privacy invaded, but I would never take out of my way to make no. But I would never.
What do you think?
Uh,
This is an
that
idiom, like kinda like a fixed expression, an idiom.
can you give me a clue for this?
It's a verb that we need.
Yeah, yeah. I am sure that it is a verb. Yeah, maybe think out. Think. I
Think
know.
out.
Get out of my way.
Something like that. Something like that.
Mm, yeah.
Go
Let,
out
let,
of
let me
my
think.
way.
I have here go out.
Yes, go out. This is a
Uh,
fixed expression that means, for example, it would say, I would never go out of my way to make, right?
mm,
No haría nada fuera de lo normal.
okay. I was thinking in another thing because I
Yes.
hear every day in a game that's jokes over. Get
Yes.
out of my way.
Now, get out of my way, it means that you are telling in Spanish we say,
Yeah.
quítate de mi vista, apártate de mi vista.
Uh-huh.
It is
Yeah.
go out of my way.
Yeah. To know kick off to your path.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything outside the normal in order to reach a goal, right?
Mm,
So I wouldn't never go out of my way to make or in order to make the lives for others difficult.
difficult.
Difficult there is a comma there. Remember that
Yeah.
commas in this kind of exercise are very important because they provide you with maybe the clue. So
Hmm.
of others difficult if they do interrupt a semifinal of the Football World Cup.
Okay. What? Let me see. Other difficult. If they do interrupt a semifinal of the Football World Cup.
Let's imagine as here in this you are a very good person, right? You are a very good person, and
Yeah.
you are not going to try to like to hurt the
Mm,
others or to make something that is incorrect or wrong to others to damage
hmm.
others, right? So what is the word? I wouldn't like to say it, but it is like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if they made you bad, right? But you are going to still be good with them.
Even if
Even
they do,
perfect.
yeah,
Even even if
mhm.
they interrupt a semifinal of the FIFA World Cup, you wouldn't go out of your way, right? So
Yeah.
number three was for this reason.
For this reason that I didn't not
This is specifically grammar,
grammar. Okay.
the past
I
tense.
the past tense is I was for this no was for this reason that I did not hang up as I
I'm gonna
hear
give
them.
you a clue. In here we need a pronoun.
A pronoun.
Yes,
I
it.
it was
It
for
was not for this reason that I,
it
right?
was
It was
it
not
was
for
for
this reason. I didn't hang up as I heard the market researcher announce she was conducting a survey on behalf of my insurance company. I
Mhm.
recently received a settlement for a minor road reason. Number four.
Recently received settlement
It's the
from
present perfect because you have recent received, but it's as it is starting as the subject of the sentence. What do we have to change in that verb have? Because it is the
has
present perfect. Having.
having
Because
yeah because
it is the
we
subject of
are
the sentence.
starting yeah.
Yes. Having recently received, right? Having recently received a settlement for a minor road accident, I suppose I was simply no somewhere on a list of computer generated phone calls. And just happened what? This one is the phrase that we learned on Wednesday.
On Wednesday. Ah,
Whatever happened
yeah. Let me see. I got it. I got it. Happen. Happen had a lot of happen too.
happened to perfect. Happened to pick up the receiver for hundreds of other instruments. Okay, I started off with good intentions and I did my best to provide her. You know this one. This is a B2 level.
I was in the club. I started off with good intention and
To provide
did my
someone,
best to provide two.
to provide someone with. With.
Provide her with answers. Mhm.
Yes, number seven. We need a linking word here, a connector, because
Yeah.
it's a commander by question number nine.
Yeah, okay, let me see. Answer the correct reflected my opinion. This word to be on a scale of 1 to 10.
Extremely satisfied.
By question number 9.
How satisfied were you with time at it? With the time it?
By question, there were
It is a
two
very
scale.
common connector that you know.
Give me
To
a clue.
contrast. To
What?
contrast.
To contrast.
Yes.
However,
However, that is, however, by question number nine, how satisfied were you with the time it to process your claim?
yeah. How satisfied were
The time.
you
The time
with
basically. The time it's
the time it's
in past.
in past?
Yes.
You with the time is
Because it says how
was
satisfied were you in past. Were you? But the
where
time
how
it,
satisfied were you with the time it
you know.
no, no,
I
I
know
don't know
you.
why.
It
it
took.
the
Yes,
time
you know.
took
Yes, the
that
time
that haven't sense.
Yes, because when, for example, I tell you, how much time does it take you, for example, to get to pass your exam? How much time does it take? Have you ever heard about that? Haven't
No.
you? Really?
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, for sure that is a normal phrase in English, but if you tell me about time, I was thinking
Sería el
que el
tiempo
tiempo
que
que te
te tomó.
tomó.
Yes,
Yeah, for
right.
sure. But I was I in my mind there is no the way that you take and time was linked. There is not a way to link
Because it
those
says the time it took to process, que tomó procesar. It took to
things.
process.
to process. Yeah, with the explanation, it's easier to
Yes,
get it. But
but
without the
don't worry.
explanation,
But don't worry, because as we are going to go through this kind of exercise, you are going to get used to this kind of exercise. And you are going to start recognizing the patterns, and you are going to
yeah,
automatically
for
get
example,
yes.
the patterns that is related with the hat, with the conditionals, I start to recognize it. And even when I see a hat, I put more attention if it is had to
Okay,
happen to.
so okay, but it was difficult, right?
Yeah, C1 is not easy. There is no for all the
Yes.
people.
Okay, so the lesson time is up. Time is up.
Time
So
is up.
lesson is over, and let's take today's attendance screenshot and with that we